That is the hardest part of that ring.
For the hardest part of the ring.
Hello and welcome to episode 41 of Hardest Part of the Ring, the podcast where four friends get together to discuss the wonder of professional wrestling. My name is Adam, and unfortunately, there are only three of us today, as Brett is on holiday.
Burying the guy.
It's tradition. It's tradition if somebody's off. Sam is here.
Cero miedo.
Wow, and John is also here.
Oh, I can't really follow that. Hello.
That'll do. So this is our All In 2018 review podcast. Before that, let you know that our last podcast, episode 40, was a Hardest Part of the Ring rewind episode where we looked at WCW Wrestle War 92. Was
like
All
ages
In
away.
better? Was All In better than that?
The hardest part of the ring plan going forwards is bad pay-per-view, good pay-per-view. And then next time we go back to a bad pay-per-view, right?
Well, it's Hell in the Cell next, so yeah.
So, yeah.
Hey, what are you saying about WCW? That's a stone cold classic.
I think we should talk about All In immediately.
Not as much blood in All In.
True,
Not
very
enough
true.
blood and all in.
Okay, let's talk about it after this.
Looking for fear factor, that packet pile driver on the apron. Penta, oh no! He nailed it! And Omega's down, and he might be out!
So, All In. This was dubbed as the most significant wrestling event of this generation. And it took place on Saturday the 1st of September 2018 at the Sears Center in Chicago, featuring wrestlers from Ring of Honor, New Japan, PWG, Impact, Lucha Underground, and a number of others. And it's the first non-WWE or WCW show to sell 10,000 tickets in America since 1993.
Did you say the most important event in a generation or the most important wrestling event?
The most significant wrestling event.
Oh, okay, cool. Sorry, I was going to say that. There's a lot has happened in a generation.
And was really bought into the hype.
Yeah, didn't you see All In was
Not
headline
one that's
news?
prone to hyperbole, but
Yeah, it was headline news on BBC. I think Sky News were covering it. Everyone's talking about it.
it was
Newsnight,
the Michael
Paxman.
Jackson trial and then all in.
And Michael Jackson trial is your next big thing, is it?
I mean, that was pretty big, wasn't it?
That was pretty big.
I followed it. I followed it like I followed all in.
I'd say Trump, Brexit, two sort of
Yeah,
slightly
those are
more
big ones.
significant things.
Those are big. It's probably bigger than Jackson trial.
John,
Yeah.
where do you fall on the side of generation-sized largeness? Didn't word that well.
I'm not sure what to say here.
What's the biggest event that's happened
what's-
to you ever?
Well, surely it was like last year when Hardest Part of the Ring recorded its first episode.
Absolutely
Oh,
correct.
shit.
Correct answer. Well done, John.
Gets a podcast point right off the bat.
10 podcast points. So a little bit of background to All In. In May 2017, some of you may remember that a fan asked Dave Meltzer on Twitter if Ring of Honor could ever sell 10,000 tickets, and Meltzer responded, "Not anytime soon." Which one was it? It was one of the Young Bucks replied.
That was Cody who replied.
Oh, was it Cody?
It was Cody. Cody said,
Idiot.
"I'll take that bet, David."
I'll take that bet, Dave. And eventually the idea evolved from a Ring of Honor show to a self-funded event promoted by Cody and the Young Bucks. The Young Bucks said on their Being Elite YouTube channel shortly after that they were looking for a venue before deciding on the Sears Center in Chicago. Amazingly, tickets went on sale in May and sold out in less than half an hour, despite, I think at the time, only one match had been announced. It would have been great to have got tickets to this, wouldn't it?
Oh, so good.
If only. I think I would have gone for that.
Yeah, Chicago's quite easy to get to. Get a flight to Chicago.
Yeah, maybe next year for All In 2.
Yeah, all in 2019.
Did you know what the one match announced was at time of purchase?
See, I made that note, John, and I thought, I should check what match it is. And then I thought, oh, no, I won't. I've got other things to do. Now I wish I had.
No.
Yeah, I don't know.
No. Brilliant.
We are
obviously-
casual wrestling fans, guys. Just throwing that one out there.
Obviously, the Bucks and Cody, as I mentioned, self-financed the show and self-promoted it, and obviously used their social media, and probably most importantly, their Being the Elite YouTube channel, which is over 240,000 subscribers. I've got to say now that I think I watched like the first 25 episodes of that, and then I sort of stopped, and I haven't watched any of it since. And
Oh,
I
so
feel
you
like I
started
should
from
have.
the very beginning?
Yeah.
Yeah, start from the end and go backwards, mate.
Actually, I think I started at the beginning, and then I watched all the way up to Marty Skrull. You know, when the Bullet Club got the villain.
Yeah, I've done this the opposite way. I just started watching one day in relation to what was actually happening at the time, because I was following New Japan quite heavily at that point. It's a lot more better when it's kind of relevant.
Yeah, I haven't watched any for ages. I used to dip in and out, but this has made me realise I probably need to watch it.
Yeah. I mean, this was a great pay-per-view, but there was a lot that I was just like, oh god, I probably should have watched.
It's a lot of in jokes, isn't
Being
there?
the Elite. Yeah, definitely.
Especially the Hangman Page stuff.
Yes. Obviously, I mean, you will have noticed that there was minimal corporate sponsorship deals at the event. I think was it Cracker Barrel and TGI Fridays?
Yeah,
Cracker Barrel, TGI Fridays, Hot Topic.
Oh yeah,
One
Pro
other as
Wrestling
well.
Tees and stuff like
Pro
that.
Wrestling
Pro
Tees,
Wrestling
yeah.
Tees, thank you.
That was great. The advert they had for that and the pre-show. But yeah, I know you both watch a lot of New Japan, and obviously Brett does as well. But have you watched much Ring of Honor in the past?
The occasional match,
Yeah.
very occasional match.
I'll watch like the crossover stuff with the New Japan things, but
Yeah,
other than that, it's one too many things to follow, isn't it?
Yeah, I think Brett used to watch it a lot, didn't he?
He did, yeah. Actually, I tell you, one of the things I took away from this kind of pay-per-view is that kind of I'm a little bit interested in watching Impact.
I
Does that-
know. It's been
Does
getting
that
loads of good
make
press
sense?
recently as well.
I feel dirty saying that.
I've heard good things about recent Impact. So
Oh,
yeah.
maybe for April Fool's Day next year we can do an Impact review.
Okay.
Mark that one in the calendar.
Okay.
Let's do the next Impact pay-per-view. Let's do it.
Maybe. I was genuinely, and I'm sure you guys were as well, especially because we review mostly WWE pay-per-views, really excited about this. Mostly because, well, sort of 50% because of the talent involved, but also because it was something totally new that we didn't really have
Yeah.
any idea how it was going to be presented or how it was going to go.
Yeah, absolutely. I think kind of maybe one of the criticisms of it, it was a little bit endearing as well, is how it did actually come together, which was a little bit kind of shitty. Like, I mean that in a
pyro.
loving way.
Oh,
Like,
the
kind of
pyro.
The pyro was a bit rubbish, and the graphics were a bit crap. Like they didn't have.
I thought
You
the
know.
graphics were okay,
Uh,
the
The
pyro
Young
was
Bucks
so
graphics
loud.
was amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, actually, I don't know, maybe it was the stream I was watching, but there seemed to be quite a lot of sound issues, like it really peaking out in places.
yeah, or like kind of them cutting to black, like when the lights went out, and then taking ages to get Jericho out into the ring, stuff like that. You know, just kind of like it needed cutting around the edges. No more than the actual kind of end itself, where basically the match ended, and then 15 seconds later they were off air.
Yeah, that's a
It,
real
it had
shame.
a real WCW feel to it, in a loving, good way.
Yeah, and I think they all came out into the ring, didn't they, and made speeches at the end, which
Yeah.
obviously we weren't privy
not
to.
watch.
The event we had on comms in Riccoboni, Don Callis and Excalibur, plus loads of guests, and there were loads of guest referees as well. Great commentary team, I thought. Don
Yeah,
Callis.
I loved
Yeah,
the
yeah,
play
really
play
good.
guy. Ian Riccoboni. He was
I've never
awesome.
heard of him before.
No, I think was he Canadian? I think he had a little Canadian twang. I liked his references to his wife being in the crowd and his wife beating him on a computer game with Okada and those kind of things.
Fire Pro Wrestling. That game is amazing.
Is it?
Yeah, it's really good.
Okay,
But
to check it out.
save that for another time.
So the card, there were a massive 11 matches, including the 2 on the 0 hour pre-show. It was weird. I wasn't going to watch the pre-show, and then John said that he had, and I thought I will, and I'm pleased I did because it's
Fuck
not
it,
like
if John's watched it, I might as well watch it.
oh, well, exactly, you know.
That man watches Wrestle War. He clearly has no.
But it was unlike any, it's nothing like the WWE pre-shows where the crowd's slowly filtering in. Every seat was full, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And obviously we had the little intro from Cody and the Young Bucks, which was really amusing. And then we had Road Warrior Animal come out,
Oh god, yeah, I completely forgot about that.
which WWE will have been hating this right from the start, this whole event, which is quite funny. And then, 2 matches in the pre-show, SCU versus the Briscoes, and then the over-budget Battle Royale, which I'm sure we'll probably talk about a little later. The main card, we had MJF versus Matt Cross, Christopher Daniels versus Stephen Amell, the four-corner survival match, Tessa Blanchard, Chelsea Green, Madison Rayne and Britt Baker, Cody versus Nick Aldis for the NWA World's Heavyweight Championship, Hangman Page versus Joey Janela in a Chicago street fight, Jay Lethal versus Flip Gordon for the Ring of Honor World Championship. And then we had, any of these could have been the main event really. Kenny Omega versus Penta El Zero, Kazuchika Okada versus Marty Scurll, and the 6-man tag team match of the Golden Elite versus Bandido, Rey Fenix, and Rey Mysterio. Stacked.
What a card! What a card!
Do you know,
What a
shamefully,
card.
before this event started, I thought the card was good, but I felt a bit lukewarm towards it.
I felt kind of similar actually. Kind of like, for example, like Okada Skrull, I was just a little bit like,
Yeah.
Ooh,
But-
I was excited for that. Come
I
on.
wasn't, but I actually think that was, well, spoilers, my match of the night.
Well, you're not a massive Skrull fan, or you haven't
No,
been.
I'm not a Skrull fan, but my God, wow, what a match!
Yeah.
That's interesting. I didn't love that match, actually.
Oh, I think there's
We
going to be a
should
lot of
discuss
contrasting opinions here. So yes, we're going to stick with our, I was going to say new format, but we've been doing it for a few pay-per-views now. But instead of going through chronologically match by match, we're going to talk about the key matches. We're going to look at the best of the rest, the worst of the rest. We're going to pick a star performer, and then we're going to rank it. And I've got a feeling it might be a new number one on our list of pay-per-views, considering we've only got 3 others on there at the moment.
And one of them's got like a 4 point something or other.
4.6 for Extreme Rules. So the key matches, the first one we're going to talk about is Cody versus Nick Aldis, and this was for the NWA World's Heavyweight Championship. Surprisingly early for this, I thought, but
Yeah, I thought this should have been the main event actually.
yeah.
Yeah, even the match itself felt like it was a main event match. It had a real sort of big fight feel, especially after the entrances. Like Cody's entrance actually gave me goosebumps.
Oh man! So my favourite part about this was fucking Glacier turned up. Do you guys remember Glacier?
Was he the guy that just dressed like Sub-Zero?
Yes, he's the
Okay.
dude who dressed as Sub-Zero in WCW. It was amazing.
Was he in Cody's Nightmare Family? Or
Yeah.
Was he in... Oh, I didn't recognise him at all.
Yeah, no, he was hanging out between DDP and Tommy Dreamer.
I need to Google him.
I think Pharaoh the dog being there took a lot of my focus, because I was just looking, going, God, is this dog going to totally freak out?
Yeah, I'm
Is
surprised he
this
didn't shit
cruel?
himself.
They did a really good job building this match up, like the promos beforehand, and just the coming out with the kind of seconds and the support and stuff. Just it
Yeah.
made it feel like a great match.
What I liked, especially with the entrances, that obviously Cody had DDP, Tommy Dreamer, apparently Glacier, and then poor old Aldis just had bloody Jeff Jarrett.
It's interesting actually, because I would say Cody has a lot in common with Jeff Jarrett in that he's gone off on his own to try something else, and love him or hate him, he has actually made something of it. Whether it's kind of good or bad is, I suppose, will come out in the wash, but it's an interesting career trajectory, I think.
Yeah. The thing about, well, kind of with a load of the matches on All In, is that I wish I've done some reading on it afterwards, and I wish I'd read more before to sort of get previews for each of the matches, so I could have
Yeah.
understood more. Because I think this one did have a really good build, didn't it? And I think some of that happened on NWA's YouTube channel as well, because they've been building the prominence of that belt and talking about the history of it. And
So they've been doing the 10 Pounds of Gold YouTube series kind of
Yeah.
about the history of it. Do you know the current, how it all stands with NWA? Because I was looking into this the other day.
well, I
I
know
know it's
Billy
owned by-
Corgan is
yeah,
in
Billy
charge.
Corgan.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, it was historically, the world's championship as opposed to the world one, because it essentially kind of encompassed all of the territories in the old wrestling. So kind of you would have different world champions and stuff, but the NWA World's Champion was kind of like I suppose, the Champions League is my understanding of the situation here. And then kind of obviously it fell out of prominence and it kind of got shafted around a little bit, kind of ended up on TNA for a bit, which is not a good look for anyone. But since then has been bought out by Billy Corgan, who's essentially sacked the entire board. So it's just him and some producer. And essentially it's almost like a starting anew. It's kind of like a new dawn for the NWA World's Heavyweight Championship. And putting it on Cody seems like a strong move, to be honest. So
I mean, it's put it in the public eye, hasn't it? I mean, it's a
Absolutely.
huge coup for coup. There we go.
Huge
Huge queue. Oh my god, they've got such a big queue for the NWA.
Yeah.
I hadn't actually considered that. That is true.
Super interesting. So, I mean, like, they've got their 70th anniversary coming up, which will probably be the first defense for Cody. And really, it's kind of like, I don't know, it's almost like an independent wrestling championship, which just seems like a very apt thing to have at this time when indie wrestling is getting so big again.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what I loved about this pay-per-view. It felt like the best from every promotion, like Impact,
Yeah.
AAA, New Japan, Ring of Honor.
It's funny, actually, because that's the thing for me, is that I got more of a WrestleMania feel from this than I did from WrestleMania. Like, this felt like a celebration of wrestling.
Yeah. Compare it to SummerSlam as well a couple of weeks ago, which just didn't feel like a marquee event.
No.
The odd thing about this match is that because I didn't know all the background, as I said, I found myself being a bit critical of it and being like, I wasn't sure about the pacing of it. And when DDP came out and the amount of time that Cody was on the floor for, I was like, come on.
That was weird.
Yeah, again, it's one of those that's grown as the days have gone on since watching, and I realised how sort of good it was and how important it was as well.
Do you know, I think I'd have to agree with that. Sorry, John, go on.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, it wasn't the best of in-the-ring match on the card, certainly. But it was definitely one of the best matches just for the pure story and drama of it all.
Yeah.
It felt like a really important match to have, and like a kind of a real coming of age for Cody as well, who's always been a bit of the bridesmaid, to be honest.
Yeah, it's obviously lovely for him to pick up the belt that his dad once championed.
And in terms of moments and spots, obviously Aldi's elbow drop on Brandy was pretty fun.
You love a bit of man on woman violence, don't you, Adam?
Oh, shut up! Save that that's for our other pod, John. For God's sake.
The Man and Woman Violence pod with Adam and John.
John dresses as a lady, and it's actually a video pod. I think they call it a vlog. You can find it on. Well, it's not on YouTube because it's 18+. But we'll put details somewhere else for people to watch that.
We like to work through our issues.
Yes. Anyway, the Diamond Cutter on Daivari, when Daivari came out, that was...
Poor Daivari.
I was thinking when Aldous came out with Daivari in his entourage, like, why the hell is Daivari there? That makes no sense.
It doesn't matter where he goes, he can't get a break, can he?
But yeah, just a really sort of big spectacle of a match in a way.
I'm not a massive fan of Cody, wrestling-wise. Amazing character, like... The American Nightmare is such a perfect character, especially for him.
I feel like he's really growing on me. He's not there yet, I think. I think kind of he's a little bit slow in the ring. Kind of gives me a bit of a Dolph Ziggler vibe sometimes. But I feel like kind of every time I watch him, his character has grown quite a lot and he's becoming a bit more kind of, I suppose, accustomed to the indie style of wrestling as opposed to the traditional WWE style.
Yeah. I mean, you should listen to this. We got this from Heel Nick Payne, regular contributor, of course, and friend of the podcast. He said, this was all me, from the entrances with the entourages to Earl Hebner as the ref, to the introductions, to the stare-off, to the handshake, to the story of Cody giving up his 10G ring, to DDP's absolute awesomeness at the age of 62, to the blood in the blonde hair, the way that Aldis played the villain elbow dropping Brandy, to the near finish after the crossroads, and then to the win with the sit down, to the crying into the belt. Loved every minute of it. I cried as well. I'll go on record to say that Cody is now in my top 10 of all time.
Wow.
It's big praise. Big praise.
I mean, he's really sold that match.
It was a great match. It was awesome.
You can't argue that Cody has come a million miles since leaving WWE. Like, he took a huge risk, of being,
you can't.
more or less floundering in the mid card of WWE, and now he is on the forefront of the independent scene.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's great for him. I don't know if his style is exactly what I look for in a match.
No. Well, he can improve that.
Yeah, but he's
hope.
really growing on me a lot. I love seeing a lot of the stuff he does as well, just because it does remind me of Goldust, and all roads lead to that man. Am I right?
Do you like
He
Goldust?
did do a couple of Goldust moves, didn't he?
A couple of Dusty Roads.
Yes.
Actually, he didn't throw out a bionic elbow, did he?
No, I was waiting for that whole match, and it didn't happen. Disappointed. I also found it interesting, especially during this match. Like, it was very much Bullet face, wasn't it? Like, all the Bullet Club were faces in pretty much all their matches.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Which I
that's
can
a good point,
understand
actually.
being their pay-per-view. They probably want to be the good guys for once.
I mean, the
Yeah.
Bullet Club have been faces for a long time now. I mean, this is kind of why the
Not Cody, though.
sure, but I mean, like they patched things up, didn't they? They
Yeah.
sorted it out. It's not
They
like
worked
kind
through
of.
it.
It's not the Tamatonga led Bullet Club, the B team style one. I tell you what, that would have been really good if they had rocked up here.
Oh, yeah, that would have been cool.
Tasty.
Should we move on? Because
Let's
we
move on.
have some other great wrestling to talk about with our second key match, Kenny Omega versus Pentagon L0. Penta L0, to say his name correctly. Obviously, Penta, somebody who I picked in the first ever draft that we did between us before the podcast, 2-3 years ago now. Mm-hmm. Always knew that he was going to be a big deal.
Right there on the ground floor, weren't you?
Yeah.
With your Pentagon Junior t-shirts.
Yeah, I wish. I mean, he is, in terms of ring gear, we talked about him, didn't we, in our top 5 ring attire, episode 25, if anybody wants to listen to that. He didn't make it, I don't think, but into the top 5. But oh my God, he looks so cool.
He's a great look. Terrifying.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. I love his tattoos as well. I did a lot of studying his tattoos after, obviously, the big surprise at the end and looking at photos and looking at the difference between his and Jericho's tattoos. But yeah, seriously cool guy. And obviously this match, probably the one that I was most excited for in terms of the two individuals involved and the fact that there hasn't been loads of stuff on YouTube that I've had to watch in order to know what was going to happen. It was just a kind of a dream match, I guess.
This was like a dream matchup. This was, again, going back to the Champions League analogy, this is like when Bayern Munich come up against Real Madrid. Just two top stars from two top promotions.
Yeah, except that this is the first time that they've ever faced each other, which made it even more exciting.
It was a really good match as well.
Yeah.
Insane as well. It felt really short. I don't know if that's just me, but it felt very quick, this match.
17 minutes, this one.
Well, it's not quick at all.
Pentagon Jr. I'd never seen him wrestle before. This was the first time I saw him in a match, and my God, what a fucking contender.
Yeah. I've watched a fair few matches back when I was... Basically, I didn't know him before we did that draft. I just Googled like top indie guys, and he came on some lists, so I watched some matches on YouTube. So and some Lucha Underground stuff as well. But his package pile driver, obviously probably the spot of the match, the one on the apron.
That looked nasty.
Yeah.
Like Kenny took that on his head.
Yeah.
He is the best bout machine, though, isn't he? Like,
Yeah.
I think he's
Every
also
match
two
Kenny-
inches shorter now because of that.
There was a couple of... Because I think he also did a pile driver that looked a bit... Oh, I don't know if the Athletic Gaming Commission would allow that one.
Yeah, he did the spinning one, didn't he?
Yeah.
Just before he started doing all his V triggers, which obviously just looks so good as well.
So, yeah, the V-trigger just... Every time I see it, I'm like, that guy's literally dead. That's it. Game over.
yeah.
Yeah.
I love that because I always think wrestling is fake, and then I see a V trigger, I'm like, no, it's not fake. It's definitely not fake.
Next time we get together, we should do a V trigger for our YouTube channel.
I think that's going to end up in a broken nose, but hey,
Broken
fuck
jaw.
it. Yeah, we'll do a few days off work.
I did actually think about that when I was watching it. I was thinking, maybe I could do that to Sam, and then I was thinking, imagine the video if it just went horribly wrong. And you're like, no, seriously, guys, this is bad. This is bad. Would we still put it up on our YouTube?
I'm really worried that you just sit at home watching wrestling, just thinking, what can I do to Sam?
Yeah, could I do that to Sam?
Between this and the Beating Women podcast that you're running, I'm really upset.
Please, let's not let that become a thing.
Yeah,
Okay?
it's not beating women. It's where I dress up as a woman and Adam beats me. It's different. There's a subtle difference there.
I'm sorry, I
Adam's
don't know
very
why.
aware that he's been up a guy.
Yeah,
It's just the guy's dressed as a woman.
exactly. It's not strange at all.
No.
Sorry. Great match, though.
Oh, super match.
Brilliant. I mean, I agree though that I felt definitely like it could have gone on longer. When it did end, I thought, it's. I think probably because we're used to seeing Kenny Omega in 45-minute 7-star matches.
It just felt so quick. The pace of it was so fast.
Yeah. And I think that's what it was, kind of like a 5-star match in the making, wasn't it? And if it had gone on for another 5-10 minutes, then it could have been absolutely obscenely amazing. But it was still great. Don't get me wrong.
I do think they should have headlined. If I was to rebook this, I think the only thing I'd change was to move that match to main event it.
Well, I guess the only thing with this is that there's no real story.
Yeah,
behind
see,
it.
I actually, thinking about it, I think I would have opened the show with this, like, how you open with a Seth Rollins match, like a real crowd pleaser to get started. I think this would have been the perfect match for that.
Wow.
Yeah, maybe.
Huge for
But
that.
yeah. Also, the end of this match was huge. Obviously, Jericho.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Turning up.
what did you guys think when the lights went out? What were you thinking?
I was kind of hoping it was going to be Neville.
Yeah.
That'd been rude.
There was a very small part of me that thought, is this CM Punk?
John, you think that every time. When your wife turns off the lights in your living room, you think, is this CM Punk?
I thought I had to whisper it, otherwise if it's too loud then it just, I don't know, makes it more real.
For God's sake. I've got to admit, I mean, it went on for a long time, so you just thought, oh, here we go, they're doing something cool, somebody's going to be in the ring. And then it's like, oh, I mean, I thought the comms sold it really well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it went a little bit too long.
Yeah.
Jericho was clearly in the bathroom.
But I when the lights came on, surely you didn't think, oh, look, somebody else is dressed as Penta.
Yeah, no, they absolutely got me there. That's what made me think, oh, okay, I guess it was
Yeah.
just a convenient glitch. And then bam, they got me because
Yeah.
it's wrestling.
It was so low key, wasn't it? As in when Kenny, he was like, okay, yeah, cool, I got the win. I was like, oh, that's a bit shit. It was genuinely a problem with the lights, but yeah, amazing. And then when they were like, code break, and I thought, oh my God.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
He can't help himself, can he? He's always got to be promoting something, Jericho.
Yeah, that was such an anticlimax, wasn't it? Like,
Yeah, it was.
you kind of thought it was leading to the big little New Japan show in America soon, but no, it was like the
I'll
Jericho
see
Cruise.
you on my boat.
See you on the Jericho Cruise. Oh, okay. All right,
Sure,
cool. Fine.
That's Jericho for you, though, isn't it? He's always working an angle,
Yeah.
a marketing angle.
Yeah.
What I really loved about this as well is when Jericho left and went up to the announce table, pushed Don Callis over.
Yeah.
Don
Oh.
Callis just sold it like an absolute champ. Stayed down for ages.
That was fantastic. Okay, yeah, great match. Definitely worth checking out. The next key match we're going to talk about was the following match on the card: Marty Scurll versus Kazuchika Okada. Obviously, Marty Scurll, when we're talking about ring attire, he's up there with the best. This match for me was one where I really noticed how shit the pyro was and how loud it was. It was so loud.
Yeah.
When they first started coming out, I was surprised most of the wrestlers weren't jumping, like making them jump. They were so close to them as well.
I mean, you know what? It was shit pyro, but it was better than nothing, WWE.
I don't know.
No, it was nice to have a bit of pyro. It's just
Do you know
a bit
actually
loud.
what I was thinking when I saw that pyro was I was like, oh, so that's what indoor fireworks are. And now I'm still not sure if that's what they are.
Well, it was indoors and there were fireworks, so I think that's probably
Okay.
what it was. This was it was great, but it took time to get going, didn't it?
So apparently this match ran 12 minutes longer than it was meant to.
Wow, that's
12 minutes.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? I swear during this match I could hear someone shouting "Marty, Marty, finish," and I could see because obviously Hattori was doing the reffing, but I could see like a normal ref with the stripe just down in the corner, sort of shouting.
Yeah. Apparently they went 12 minutes over, and that's why they had such a sudden end on the Golden Elite versus the Mysterio gang.
Yeah, that's what because I read that last match was shortened by 12 minutes, so these two stories have come together to confirm each other. Obviously, the 12 minutes were on this match, and even in that last match, you heard people sort of saying the times, and
Yeah.
it was a bit awkward. But
But I mean, this match was great. This was such. They told such a
second half
good
of it was
story.
great, in my opinion.
Oh,
Yeah.
I think the whole thing was like. I think I've really enjoyed the build up, and this is where kind of being the elite comes into it. Like the build up they've had for the last few weeks has been fantastic because they've had Marty Scurll basically wandering around getting advice from everyone, and everyone basically telling him you're fucked.
You're fucked.
There's this amazing clip on last week's one, just before the pay per view, of Zack Sabre Jr. basically saying, "You're fucked, mate," and it was so funny, just because he's so straight laced all the time.
Yeah.
And not only that, but Okada has played the heel role here so well, like kind of constantly taunting him with the 205 live.
That was good.
I love this Okada. Like Okada without the belt is.
He's such a dick. It's so good.
He's
It
so
reminds me of
cool though, isn't he? He's just looks so. He looks really chill and just like, yeah, I'm fucking Okada. I'm the best in the world.
I
fuck it.
wasn't sure about Okada with the balloon during the G1, but
Yeah.
I'm
This
really
Okada,
enjoying.
though. Oh.
Yeah, he reminds me of the Okada that rocked up against Tanahashi, like kind of old school Okada. And the commentary absolutely nailed it with his what makes him so great, which is that he just does everything so well.
Yeah.
It's not like he stands out in one particular field. He's just one of those people who does everything really good.
Yeah.
What I really loved about this is that it was all about sort of Marty trying to make the step up to the heavyweight,
Yeah,
taking down the big guy. And during every sort of the big shows of strength where Okada just beat him back, he'd just do a little muscle flex, like just the chest or the arms. I just thought, oh, that's such a lovely touch. You're so cool, Okada. You're so good at this.
I love the Okada pat down when he pushes him up to the rope.
Oh, yeah.
I love that Skrull as well has still got that little comedy element in all his matches and all his moves when he's sort of selling the back and all that kind of stuff. He's just... this is a real journey. When I first started getting back into wrestling and watching progress from the start and watching Party Marty, this is like the one wrestler I've watched from the bottom to the top, and it's been so cool. It's great to see him coming out with that amazing ring attire, and the crowd love him, don't they?
His entrance theme is awesome.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah, it is. And
I have a lot of time for Okada, and you know what? Skrull has taken a long time to warm up to me, but I'm starting to come round to his matches. I'm not mad on all the finger breaking stuff, but
crowd love it.
you know, they do.
It was my favourite spot in wrestling for quite a while. The first time I saw it, I thought it was awesome.
What about the chicken wing? Are you a fan of that, Sam?
See, here's the thing. I don't like the chicken wing that much. I don't like the finger breaking that much. I don't like the just kidding super kick.
Yeah,
the
I'm not a
shin
big fan of
kick. So there's a lot working against him here.
Yeah.
When he hit the Rainmaker, Marty Scurll hit the Rainmaker,
Oh,
and Okada kicked out. I was literally out of my seat. I could not
was-
Yeah.
a small guy doing a rainmaker to a big guy is so
Yeah, it
good.
was great.
Or what about when Okada went for the Rainmaker and then Skrull opened up his umbrella? That was cool as well.
That was cool.
I actually thought Skrull was going to win this when he got the umbrella across the head.
Yeah, when Hattori
Yeah.
got knocked down.
That's what I was quite excited about this match for, because Okada obviously doesn't have the belt anymore. He kind of feels a bit more achievable.
Vulnerable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
vulnerable. Yeah, definitely. Like it felt it was the first match I've watched Okada for ages where I felt like he could lose.
Well, that's the funny thing, because he kind of went through that period of like, you know, he lost to Zack Sabre Jr. after Kenny Omega, and then he lost again to oh shit, who's that new Kiwi guy? Jay White.
Switchblade.
Switchblade, thank you. Yes. And it was just a little bit like, oh, okay, so we've now got a Okada who's not invulnerable. This kind of makes for a more interesting future feuds for all these other wrestlers and stuff. And then obviously he's gone on a bit of a tear since then, but then, you know, there was always the element of doubt here. Just perfect storm. Really good match.
Yeah, it was not my favourite, but it was a good match. I would agree with Adam. I thought it was a bit sluggish to start off with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe if they'd cut 12 minutes off it.
Yeah, so tighten
Exactly.
this up a bit.
Definitely could have lost 5 at least, anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, the final of the key matches will be the main event, the one that was shortened by 12 minutes, unfortunately, but it did mean that they had to go at an incredible pace, which I felt we needed, and they had the talent to do it. It was the Young Bucks and Kota Ibushi versus Bandido, Rey Fenix and Rey Mysterio. Rey Fenix, of course, Penta's brother. What a family.
Yeah.
God damn. Ray Phoenix running along the top rope like a ninja.
Oh, that was so cool, that bit, wasn't it?
Holy shit. I had to rewind that.
I don't think I've ever seen. Yeah, I was making notes on this. I was trying to write down the spots, and I literally couldn't keep up. I've never seen so many spots in one match.
The thing is, that's a Young Bucks speciality,
Yeah,
isn't it?
But all of them. But like Bandido was amazing. Ray Phoenix was amazing. Like
Yeah.
I'd probably say that Ibushi was probably the guy who sort of stood out the least in a way. Like I was excited to see him, and I didn't know a huge amount about Bandido or Ray Phoenix. They were amazing, I thought.
Yeah, completely. I really enjoyed this match. I really enjoyed all the matches, but this one again, like a real clash of styles from all over the world.
Yeah.
This was the
together.
perfect, in many ways, sort of curtain close, wasn't it? Like a big spot fest, basically. Everyone's going to love this. It's really fun, exciting. Everyone goes home happy.
Yeah.
See, it's funny actually because I would say that having a 6-man tag is not a good main event. Like I thought this was a really great match. I don't think this was a kind of the same main event quality as Aldis versus Cody or Penta versus Omega.
Yeah, I mean, if I would have put Kenny and Penta, but this was good though. This was fun.
I think
This was a great match.
we could argue about who should be main eventing for ages, just because there were so many contenders. But
It's a real good point. Yeah.
the thing is that I was looking at the clock and I was thinking, they really don't have much time for this. It's going to be rushed. But then them having to rush it almost worked in its favour, and it didn't fit. Well, when it finished, it didn't feel like we only got half a match. For me, I was exhausted from all of the different stuff that had been going on. What did you think about Rey Mysterio's Wolverine gear, John? Obviously, you're a big fan of Mysterio.
Wonderful. Absolutely
Sam,
wonderful.
big fan of Wolverine.
Yeah,
Are you?
he's alright.
Okay.
He's okay. Yeah. Can you have our top Jubilee impressions with Wolverine? Jubilee.
Yep, you're number one. Well done.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. I win again. 2 quizzes and a Wolverine impression.
Good work, Sam. Did you see the Young Bucks graphics? They look
Yes.
awesome.
The sort of 80s video
Yeah,
game with the
very
bulging
nice.
biceps.
What? No, I missed this. What were we talking about?
Oh,
On
they're
the
graphics
sort
on
of
the big screen.
Titantron. Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, I didn't see.
Oh, go
very nice.
Google it.
Yeah.
Have a look. Really
Okay.
cool.
Also, I think Rey Mysterio does the best Hurricanrana in the world ever. He did a load of this match, and they just look so crisp and so tight, and just awesome.
I tell you what, on this whole event, I'm not a massive fan of Hurricane Ranas because I think so often they look just shit, especially in the indies. Like,
Do you think? Oh
I
man,
do.
I love a Hurricanrana.
no, because I think sometimes they don't. I'm like, hold on, who's like initially when I first saw them, I was like, who's supposed to be taking this? Like, who's finished off worse off here?
Sure.
But when they're done properly, like all these guys were doing throughout the night, then yeah, it's a great move. But I think sometimes on the indies they're not done that well. Maybe I'm being harsh. But I mean, as I said, I made a list of all the spots, and just to go through a couple of them, we had the standing moonsault with the knees from Ibushi, which I thought looked so cool. It's so rare that people land
love that move.
with the knees,
Yeah.
and it looks so much more legit and painful, doesn't it? Obviously, Matt Jackson doing the cannonball off the ramp.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah, that
I
was
wish
clever.
he only got one of them, didn't he? And the other guy literally ran over to get involved. And
Yeah.
Yeah, massive run up though. And then the other one I had written down was Bandito's triple Hurricane Rana, which I mean, yeah, obviously not that realistic, but still cool.
Bandito also did like a backflip blockbuster off the top rope, which was insane.
yeah.
Yes, yeah, love that.
And there was a bit where Matt Jackson took like 1 trillion finishes. I'm not overestimating that.
Yeah.
It was literally 1 trillion.
Yeah, that was the
Still
6-1
kicked out.
line. I genuinely thought the match was going to end there.
Yeah, well, yeah. I thought his life was going to end.
It ended with the 5-star Meltzer driver, of course, for the Bucks and Ibushi to pick up the win. And amazing match. And actually, I made a note about this after reading something about it, and talking about whether or not this should have headlined. And a lot of people say that this headlined because the Young Bucks sort of would have known all along that there's a big chance that there'd be time constraints, and that they knew that they could handle it if they had to have a short match.
Interesting.
That's a good point, actually. I didn't think about that.
Especially like Rey Mysterio as well, like professional.
Yeah.
Been around a bit.
God damn, this pay-per-view was great.
Oh God, it was so fucking good, this pay-per-view.
It was. Should we talk about?
We haven't
some of
even talked about my best match yet.
Best of the rest. Was your best match? Although I thought you
Can I
already
make a
said.
guess? Is it going to be Hangman Page versus Joey Janela?
It was.
I fucking knew it.
Okay, let's talk about that.
Was fucking sick.
The Chicago
Wow.
street fight.
That's how you have an Extreme Rules fight.
My God, how are they still alive? Especially Joe and Janela. Like, good Lord.
Yeah.
Well, he went, like, when he was on the ramp, he went through those double tables, but he kind of went through one and just kind of.
Yeah.
Oh.
That was a real shame, wasn't it? They only went through one.
Yeah.
I was
It was
a bit
still
gutted.
impressive though. Like Hangman Page getting him up, running along into powerbomb position, and throwing him over the chair. Like
It was a
stairs.
little bit of a shit throw.
Oh come on! He's throwing a fully grown man from
Okay,
his
yeah,
shoulders.
fair. Penelope Ford was amazing as well.
Fuck
oh, God,
yeah.
that Matrix style shit.
Yeah.
Crazy.
What?
I've never seen. I actually rewound that bit to watch it like 3 times because I've never seen anything like it. She did a
And the
flip,
stunner
a
and
bridge, a
everything.
stunner, a crossbody, and
God
then an
damn.
elbow through the table.
Yeah. I've
Yeah.
got to. I didn't know she wrestled, so I just thought she was his attractive valet. You know. So when she did that, I was like, "Fucking hell!"
She could have beat the shit out of both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. This match
Amazing.
was so good. And then obviously you got the Joey Ryan bit at the end. Very funny.
Oh, I really enjoyed at the
love the
start when they were talking
Druid
about
parody.
when they were talking about Hangman Page obviously killing Joey Ryan and the fact he was up against
Oh,
Joey
yeah,
Janela.
right.
And when Don Callis says, "I hope no one brings a baby kangaroo here tonight, or it could get really ugly."
Yeah.
That was great. Yeah, all that Joey Ryan stuff was brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those
It worked
penises at the
really
end.
well.
I did feel a bit sorry for all the people that had seats around the ramp area because they just had those like 8 massive penises, or the guys in penis suits, and they wouldn't have been able to see what was going on in the ring. Not that much was really going on there, that in terms of wrestling, anyway.
Yeah, I'm happy to see famous dick wrestler Joey Ryan, who is okay. He was also a 3-year draft pick on SummerSlam.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
Yeah, a year 1 draft pick along with Candice LeRae as world's cutest tag team.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
very nice.
There we go.
That's mad, isn't
My
it?
chops in.
Yeah, good.
Just
John, are you
fi-
going to pull out anyone that you
No,
picked in the
I
first
haven't
draft
got
we did?
anyone from this match in my draft picks. I just want to say Hangman Page was a guy this time last year could not give a shit about. But over the last 6 months, I'm in love with the guy. I think he's incredible.
He's very funny on Being the Elite as well.
He's so good in the ring though.
Yeah.
He puts on amazing matches.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's really stepped up from kind of B team
Yeah,
Bullet Club
definitely.
to the Elite.
Yeah. It was a good match.
Damn.
I'd like to talk about quickly in terms of best of the rest, one which is up there with my favourite as well, which was the 4-corner survival match, the women's
Yes.
match.
Yes, definitely.
Yes.
Oh my
yes.
God. When you think about the multi-women matches we see week on, week out on WWE, the pace of this, it was non-stop action, wasn't it, throughout?
It was
so
fucking
good.
This
killer,
was
this match.
Really well laid out, and I'm in love with Chelsea Green, I think.
Yeah, me too. So Chelsea Green was my takeaway from this show of like, oh, holy shit, that's a huge departure from the last time I saw her.
Well, she
Yeah.
did that destroyer, which Tessa Blanchard kicked out of, which was incredible.
Great gimmick as well.
Yeah,
Like, I
love
thought,
the hot mess gimmick.
Has anybody done that where they've like
Yeah.
split in half?
So maybe not split in half, but AJ Lee actually had a very similar gimmick on Raw around about 2011, 2012 maybe, when she was basically playing a psycho girlfriend, and it was
But
with
the
CM
Jeff-
Punk and Brian Daniels. Like, holy shit!
But like the Jekyll and Hyde style, you know,
Not
two
to
sides.
that degree, like,
that's
literally
such a good
painted up.
idea. Such a good idea. And
Yeah.
Tessa Blanchard as well. Obviously, we saw her in the Mae Young Classic. She did okay.
Yeah, for like 1 round or something. Like, you know, not that important, was she, Sean?
Yeah,
she was.
she might pick to win it.
Oh yeah. Well, I can see why from this match because
She's
she
an
was
amazing
brilliant.
talent. She's incredible. So strong. Like, her arm
Didn't they
strength's
say
incredible.
Impact Champion as well now?
Yes, or was.
Yes or no? Edit out
I think
as appropriate.
I think they said she was the Impact Women's Champion. I'm going to own that, and if it's wrong, well, hey, it's not
You
the first
can't.
time.
You can't imagine she'd be in WWE within like a year, don't you? Like,
Maybe.
with her family
maybe.
connections and stuff.
I like the Zack Ryder references as well
Yep.
Yeah.
from Chelsea. It's a lovely little call out to him.
Yeah.
Man,
It was
a
just really good.
match.
They had a
I
standing
think
ovation.
the last half of this match in particular was just incredible. Where they were basically just tagging each other out to finishes and kicking out and like last minute saves. The only slight criticism would be the finish. It was a bit confusing. Like it kind of
Yes,
thought they
that's true.
stopped the count, but apparently they hadn't.
Yeah, they dropped that a little bit. Who was it on comms? Was it Tennille Dashwood and who else was it?
I don't
can't
know the
remember
other
her name.
lady's name. Yeah.
I'm not sure who she was, but they were both really good as well.
Mandy Leon.
Thank you.
Cool.
Yeah, both of them. Awesome to kind of have them commentating on that match.
Yeah.
Like, good for Emma, or Tennille, or whatever she's going with now.
Tennille Dashwood. Any other best of the rest from you guys? I was going to say, John, were you absolutely delighted to see Matt Cross featuring?
Yes, I do love a bit of Matt Cross. It was a good match. Nice opener. Safe pair of hands.
Yeah, obviously not many people are really aware of him. It seemed like the way they were discussing him on commentary.
Oh, really?
They said that's the biggest event that he's ever wrestled at in America.
No, it feels like Matt Cross is one of those wrestlers who's been around forever.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Can we take a moment for Jay Lethal versus Flip Gordon?
The macho stuff was...
Yeah.
That's going in my worst of the rest, if I'm honest.
Oh no!
Oh,
really?
what?
Yeah, but this is
Oh.
somebody... It's because I don't follow... I don't really follow those guys, and so the whole match I was just like, I don't really know what's going on, and they had the interruptions, and I don't know the backstory to this, and I didn't
Fair
think
enough.
as a match it was that exciting. I love Jay Lethal's finisher, but yeah.
Oh, the bit where Jay Lethal got out and sort of got Brandy Rose and put her back in his corner was brilliant.
I was so happy to see Lanny Poffo there as well.
Yeah, that was
Like,
nice. It was just
real
it was
nice
really
touch.
funny. I
Yeah,
was reading up about this. I didn't recognise at the time, but apparently they basically the beginning of the match was also redid Macho Man versus Steamboat, and obviously
Yeah.
there was a couple of nods to Hogan versus Macho, like Flip Gordon did the big boot.
Or according to the commentators, he's summoning the warrior. Oh no, he's summoning the immortal one. It's like, yeah, no, that's the immortal racist, not the mad racist.
I've realised I'm definitely in the minority with my opinion on that.
That's cool.
'Cause,
Jay,
most of the
Jay
people
Lethal
who-
does the best Macho Man impression ever.
He does a fantastic one, really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought this match was really good. Every time I see Flip Gordon wrestle as well, I'm really impressed.
He's a good wrestler for a flat earther.
Shame he's a flat earther. Yeah.
What about the Battle Royale? Did you manage to watch that
I
in the
didn't
end,
get
Sam?
to see the pre-show. No, I'm gonna watch it later.
It was fun. The
It was
battle
fun.
royale, like everyone got their sort of good moments and sort of. Brian Cage is a absolute beast as always.
Yeah. I thought Jordan Grace looked great. Like, she
Yeah.
is so strong.
She did, yeah. Where she like benched or squatted Brian Cage was insane.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely go and watch that, Sam. Worth a look.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's funny actually
It's fun.
because one of the few things I've taken away from this is that kind of seeing Colt Cabana in both the Battle Royale and then the Interrupt later on. Kind of was like, oh, CM Punk's definitely not going to be here now because Colt Cabana's on the show.
Yeah, good point.
Very true. Yeah,
I
good
mean,
point.
on the pre-show, even the Briscoes versus SCU was a great match. It's worth checking out.
See you.
Yeah, I didn't mind that. I thought, some good. Well, I enjoyed the finisher again of that.
Oh yeah,
match.
finish of that match was awesome. I love the Briscoes though.
Do you know what as well though? Christopher Daniels versus Stephen Amell for a celebrity. I think it was a decent match. Maybe not the best. I think
Probably-
Christopher Daniels is a safe pair of
No,
hands.
He's a very safe player. He knows what he's doing, does he? Because he's been around.
yeah, proper old school classic.
I would say that it was the worst match on the card, but it was still fun. I enjoyed
Yeah.
it enough.
Well, the next category is worst of the rest. So we're going to try and find some things to moan about, complain about, and we'll do that after a short break, I think.
This phalanx of phalluses lining the entranceway.
Right, worst of the rest. This might be the shortest worst of the rest segment ever. Obviously, in the WWE ones, it's quite often the largest segment. Anything to moan about? Anything you didn't
Okay.
enjoy? Thought was rubbish?
Lighting operator. Come on, learn how to turn a light on quickly.
Okay, small gripe. John?
I'm just looking through my notes. The only thing I could say is the Amel Daniels, but I mean that was still a good match. There was nothing wrong with that match. Imelda is amazing considering he's only wrestled like 3 times. And Christopher Daniels like ran that match like a absolute seasoned professional he is.
Consummate professional.
Yeah.
I tell you what, both of them have cut some really good promos in the lead up to this as well. Worth checking out.
Okay.
But
I mean, I'm looking at my notes. Everything was good, either good or great, wasn't it? Like,
the graphics package was a bit shit.
I
It was a
didn't
little
mind
bit
it. I mean, yeah, it didn't have like the sort of sheen, perhaps, of some of the other some of the WWE or New Japan stuff. But it's their first ever show. They did it all by themselves.
Yeah.
It's absolutely phenomenal that they did that.
It was filled with indie charm.
I haven't enjoyed watching a wrestling pay-per-view this much in such a long time. I was so excited afterwards. Like, I bloody love wrestling.
That's true. It was like a little.
It was great.
A shot of wrestling adrenaline that we needed. I guess you could say, seems a bit unfair because again, comparing to WWE shows, you could say it was quite long with the pre-show.
A little bit, yeah. I mean,
11 matches.
I don't mind it
through.
being long because it was on a Saturday, so it's like I could just chill out on a Sunday and just watch it. It was lovely.
yeah.
That's true. We didn't have to rush it.
I had to be super, super critical. I would say that maybe one of the few issues I have with this is that I don't think this would have happened without the Young Bucks. Like, I don't think Cody on his own had enough draw to sell out a pay-per-view.
Oh, no.
like this.
No. I think
it needed the Young Bucks. And I feel like maybe the Being the Elite stuff has made it, ironically, a little bit elitist to the point where it's like, to fully enjoy the pay-per-view to the maximum, you need to follow Being the Elite.
Yeah.
And it kind of, what I loved about this pay-per-view was kind of the clashing of all these different promotions into one big major event. And maybe the stuff that was kind of, you had to watch the YouTube show of this to get this, kind of maybe was a little bit too...
Totally.
I don't know.
Totally
just
agree.
Kind of, yeah.
I think the Christopher Daniels, Stephen Amell, and then the Cody, Nick Aldis, and the Jay Lethal, Flip Gordon, and the Hangman Page, Joe Janela. Well, no, that's different because it's a street fight. But those other matches, for me, it was just I don't know what's going on. I don't know the backstory, so I can't really enjoy what the crowd seemed to be going apeshit for.
I mean, I guess as well, like this, it's almost akin to complaining about a WWE pay-per-view and then saying, "Oh, I didn't watch Raw." Like, if Raw was replaced with weekly 20-minute YouTube videos, I think I'd be all right with that.
Yeah.
No, so it's
you're
3
right.
hours and bloody enjoy it.
Apparently, this week's Raw sounds quite good. I might check that out later.
I haven't watched it yet, but I read something this morning. It said it was awful.
I like the idea. Yeah, I did too. I like the idea of you going, I might check that out later. Like it's Tuesday evening now. You'll be into Wednesday by the time you finish 3 hours.
If I just
Anyway,
fast forward through all the Michael Cole.
Yes. So that was a very short worst of the rest section, which is good. Star performer, John, who did you go for?
Oh,
Tough one, this, isn't it?
You weren't going to go to me first because I haven't.
Okay, Sam.
All right, it's got to be Cody.
Yeah, can't really complain with that.
All In doesn't happen without Cody.
Well, you just said that it was probably
He doesn't sell it out.
Young Bucks.
He doesn't sell it out without the Young Bucks. The Young Bucks were great, but I mean, the draw of this was Cody. He was kind of,
Yeah,
that's the main story here for me. And
yeah,
it was kind of like a coming together of all of the indie people and all of the old school kind of wrestling heads who have been around for a long time. And whilst that doesn't happen without the Young Bucks, it also doesn't happen without Cody's connections, which kind of go all the way back to Dusty. So
definitely.
Good point. Adam, who is your star performer?
well played, John.
I'm tempted to say Chelsea Green, but that's stupid. But she was like my breakout star in a way. Somebody who I didn't really know about, hadn't seen much of, and was just like, she is great. This is really cool. But maybe breakout star is something we need. Although, how are we going to have a breakout star on WWE pay-per-views? I'll go for Cody as well because he had the most iconic moment. Like the one, if there has to be one still frame from this whole event that goes down in history, it will be him holding that belt with the tears running down his face, with the blood in his hair.
And Brandy Rhodes wearing the Britney Spears Toxic dress.
Yeah.
Forgot about
that.
Yeah, Cody. John, are you ready? Have you got someone?
Yeah, I'll go Cody as well. Why not? Let's give him a clean sweep.
Wow.
Deserved it.
Well done, Cody.
You've done it, son.
Overall rank. This is where we give the pay-per-view as a whole a score out of 10. We do a score each and then work out the average. Obviously, Brett's score won't be included because I don't think he's watched it. He'll be gutted. I wonder if he'll listen to this before he watches it. No, that'd be stupid.
Yeah.
Anyway, John, score out of 10?
Well, as I was saying, this is the most fun I've had watching a wrestling event in a long time. I don't feel I can go as high as 10, but I'm going to go 9.
Okay, solid. Very solid, in fact. Sam?
So, yeah, I can't, just for a few technical things, can't give it a 10. It's very good. 8.5.
Very strong as well. And yeah, same. I think basically the fact that I didn't understand some of the storylines, which just affected the way that I could enjoy some of the matches. Obviously, it's my own fault, but I will give it an 8.5 as well.
Lovely. Well, that gives us a grand total of 8.6 out of 10.
Not bad.
Boom. Straight to the top of the hardest part of the ring leaderboard. And I expect it's going to stay that way until All In 2.
Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah,
Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah, actually, yeah, you're probably right.
There's something beautiful as well about this not being the perfect pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Few final thoughts before we move on to a couple of listener questions. I mean, do we think this is the future now in terms of providing a proper alternative to WWE in America?
It needs to go a long way before it's that.
Yeah, I think this is going to be the indie WrestleMania going forwards. Like, I think there's going to be a once a year, all promotions send their best to kind of take part in a show.
If they stick to that, this could become massive, I think.
Yeah,
I like that idea a lot.
I would love that. If that becomes a thing, I'm so on board with it.
Because they have that belt, although it's not something that either of us are particularly aware of, it's got so much heritage, the NWA belt, that you could make it a big thing.
Absolutely.
Quite
and
easily.
I mean, the other thing is that kind of there's no reason why, like, you know, this has now been a proven success and it's on board with Ring of Honor, it's on board with New Japan. There's no reason why New Japan belts or Ring of Honor belts, well, Ring of Honor belts have already been defended on it, you know.
Yeah.
We could see a real kind of renaissance for wrestling where it could have a lot of major championships, major kind of long-term storyline impacts.
Yeah.
Or maybe it could be its own self-contained thing. We just don't know, but I'm happy with it.
I do like the idea of them potentially getting New Japan involved a little bit more in terms of showing off some of their belts. And then, I mean, obviously they've got the relationship with Rev Pro over here, but maybe Rev Pro could get involved as well and have a bit of British interest.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, on their own, none of these promotions like Impact, New Japan, or Ring of Honor could ever really challenge WWE. But I think together, they could.
But do you know what?
Seriously hurt them.
I'm kind of, the more WWE I watch and the more indie wrestling I watch, the more I'm thinking these are playing two completely different games by this point. This is
definitely.
rugby league and rugby union. Like, WWE, it's polished, it's for kids, it's charmingly predictable.
It's a soap opera at the end of the
Exactly. And it just feels like indie wrestling is what wrestling used to be in a good way. Like, kind of, that feels to me like the natural evolution of the Attitude Era.
Yeah. You're right.
This show reminded me of like ECW in its pomp.
Yeah, in fact, Bully Ray came out afterwards and said that this was like the most fun he had since ECW One Night Stand.
Wow.
It had that sort of feel though, didn't it? That sort of...
It did. It was a special event, and it was great. It was an honour to get to watch it.
It was great.
It really was.
Yeah, it was really good.
Okay, All In 2018 review done. John, have you got some listener comments?
Yes, Adam, I do have some listener comments. Would you like to hear them?
I would like to hear... I tell you what, I know we got hundreds, but just give me 2 or 3.
Okay, let me sort of edit these down. So we've got 4 Tortoise 104, who was actually at the event.
Shit.
Is incredible.
I'm surprised. I saw he sent us a picture on Twitter, so and we retweeted it. He had great seats. He was in like the 4th row or something.
I know, they look killer. You must have had such a
lucky.
good time. He said it was a great show, electric feeling inside that building. From a crowd standpoint, we felt we did an excellent job, well responsive and attentive. No beach balls here. Bit of a humble brag there. Huge congrats goes to every single performer involved with the show. Stellar job from top to bottom.
Nice.
We've also got Joshua Owen, who's got in touch. He says, it was amazing. Janela versus Paige was cool, and Omega versus Pentagon was insane.
It really was.
Yeah.
Okay, so next podcast, next week, we'll be back, all four of us, hopefully, with a wrestling roundup where we'll talk about recent shows that we've been watching and discuss the big news stories. So yeah, tune in for that next week. As Brett's away, Sam, do you want to tell people how to get in touch?
Yeah, so you can catch us on email at hardestpartofthering@gmail.com. You can contact us on the social of medias at hardestpartpod, and that's on Instagram, Facebook and Twitter. And we have a shop. We have a shop where we sell things that aren't all-in tickets, but everything else. And that's at hardestpartofthering.bigcartel.com.
Brilliant. Oh my God. I think you might have to take that role from Brett.
I don't know if I can. It would kill him.
That's harsh.
It would kill him inside.
He won't come back.
This is the only reason to live, I think.
Sorry, Brett. Great way to end. Thank you very much for listening. Please do go onto iTunes and give us I was about to say 5-star, however many stars you like. And a
No,
review.
give us a 5.
Yeah,
5
please
or
give us
none.
5.
Give us a rating and we'll read you out and send you some stickers.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly right. Send us a screenshot and we'll send you some stickers in the post, and then we'll delete your address. So don't worry about that. Thank you very much once more. This is a weird ending. We can't hold it together without Brett.
No, he's the glue.
Please come back, Brett. Goodbye, Sam.
See ya.
Goodbye, John.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody. That was the hardest part of the ring.
Is this CM Punk?
That is the hardest part of that ring.
For the hardest